ॐ बोधीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युभूतं नमामि गजाननम् दोर्भिर्युक्ता च सर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयी मोक्षमालां ददानां हस्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितं पीचकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासकुन्देन्दुशङ्कस्फटिकमणिनिभाभासमाना समानां सामे वाग्देवतेयं निवसति वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना कूजन्तं राम रामैति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं कञ्चनात्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारिपरिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः सीतां विदेहतनयां रामस्य दयितानुगां हनूमता समाश्वस्तां भूमिजां शरणं भजे सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां योगिनं विश्वनाथाख्यम् अस्मत्तातस्वरूपिणम् आत्मलाभात् परं लाभं वक्तारं न कदाचन गीतार्थग्रन्थकर्तारं श्रीगुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मे वाचं धृतिं बुद्धिं प्रचोदयात् ॐ नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च ॐ नमः Om. Friends, we are going to be doing Sanatana Dharma 26th session. This is the three-part series of three Sundarakandas. So we are going to do the third and final part of the topic Three Sundarakandas, part 3 of 3. Remember, we left the scene in the Ashokavana where Ravana comes and torments Sita with his pungent pleas and an ultimatum of 2 months. She throws a blade of grass before him, Trinam antaratah krutva, says Valmiki, and tells him, Trinam antaratah. She puts a blade of grass before him and says, and looks at it and talks. She does not want to directly talk to Ravana. So she tells him in no uncertain terms that the only way open to him is to take her back to her Lord Rama. After he goes, after giving that ultimatum of 2 months, she experiences the worst moment of her lively and earthly existence. Tulasi makes Sita ask for fire from Trijata, Vibhishana's daughter. But the latter says there is no fire can be had at night. Sita pleads with the Ashoka tree to supply her with fire and put an end to her agony. Obviously she wants to end her life. Hanuman watches this from the treetop. The moment seems to be a whole kalpa to him. Kalpa is a period of several millions and millions of years, Brahma's daytime. Deki parama viraha kula Sita, says Tulsi. Deki parama viraha kula Sita. Hanuman beheld Sita, Dekhi, extremely depressed, parama viraha kula, due to her separation from the Lord. Sochane kapihi kalpasamabhita. So that simple moment, kshana, it seemed like a whole kalpa to him, 4.32 million years to Hanuman. Kapikari hridaya vichar, says the next doha in Tulsi. Kapikari hridaya vichar. Kapi, Hanuman thought within himself. This is Tulsi. He caps it by saying, The next sentence is in Tulsi, Dinihi Mudrika Dari Sab. He dropped the signet ring. So that ring which he had brought from Rama, he dropped it. That is how he announces himself in Tulsi. But this Kapikari Hridaya Vichar, the debate that Hanuman has within himself, is a whole chapter in Valmiki, chapter 30 of Sundarakanda. Kamban also passes over this Hridaya Vichar, Kapikari Hridaya Vichar. Within that, Tulsi has said so much because the original poet Valmiki has written a whole chapter. So Tulsi does not want to elaborate that. We are going to see what Valmiki said very soon. Kamban also passes over this Hridaya Vichar in one stanza by making Hanuman debate a little before he appears in front of Sita announcing himself. That is how Hanuman deals the scene. It is Valmiki who handles this elaborately. That is probably the reason, as I told you, why Kamban and Tulsi decided not to elaborate it. In Valmiki, Hanuman debates quite a lot. This debate is a masterly soliloquy consisting of 44 shlokas of chapter 30 in Sundarakanda. He thinks, he debates, I should console this Sita. If I don't console her and go my way, she might take away her life. And all the efforts taken by all of the monkeys would be a wasted effort. And I should console her within this night, because there is no doubt that she has decided to end her life, take away her life. If Rama asks me, what did Sita say? What reply would I give him? Without a proper message from her, I should not go back. All this is in Valmiki. This is Valmiki style. If in the small, Hanuman continues to think, debate, if in the small monkey frame of mine, I go to her and speak in a human voice, she might think I am Ravana in disguise and be totally frightened. But I do have to talk to her in a human voice. But in fright, if she raises an alarm, then all the Rakshasas would be on me. And then the Rakshasa army may be alerted. There might be a fight. Of course, I am not afraid of them. I have come all the way, crossing the ocean. I am confident of overcoming any obstacle that these Rakshasas may put before me. But the meeting with Sita might be disturbed. It would have been impossible. Oh, Ram, how does a wise man do all this with certainty that everything is correctly done? Mark this sentence. Beautiful sentence from Valmiki. Kascha nissamshayam kurya karyam kuryat prajna sasamshayam. Kascha nissamshayam karyam. You see, how does a wise man, prajnaha, do all this with certainty? Nissamshayam karyam. Nissamshayam. How do I do it with certainty? So that everything is correctly done. Prajna sasamshayam. I am already having doubts, dilemma, but I have to do it in a certain way with certainty. There is great danger in my trying to talk to her. But if I don't talk to her also, there is danger. How do I do all this without making the crossing of the ocean a wasted effort? How do I talk to her so that she is not afraid of me? Hey Ram. Finally, it's a whole thinking. Finally, he decided to sing the story of Rama from the beginning in the most gentle way, from the treetop itself, in a human voice, so that she may hear it, prick her ears, and be ready to receive good news. He decided to show his presence to her only at that time. And thus he begins. In the most soft voice, Samshrave Madhuram Vakyam, says Valmiki. Madhuram Vakyam, soft voice. राजा दशरथो नाम रथकुञ्जरवाजिमाने पुण्यश्लोको पुण्यशीलो महाकीर्तिः इक्ष्वाकूणां महायशाः. He begins like that. Raja Dasharatho Nama, there was once a great king, Dasharatha, by name, in the line of Ikshvaku. Raja Dasharatho Nama, Rathakunjaravajimane, Punyashilo Mahakirti, Ikshvakunam Mahayasha. So he begins the story. You see, so that Sita may prick her ears and listen. Beautiful, tremendous idea. That is why Kamban and Tulsi did not disturb this at all. Kamban said he just jumped down and announced himself. And Tulsi said, drop the ring. But here Valmiki probably gives us the real drama that happened at that time. There was a king Dasharatha by name in the line of the famous Ikshvaku. Hanuman is singing. Beautiful chapter. This one chapter alone, if you read it, you will learn a lot of Sanskrit because you know the story, and the story of Rama is told in short words. He was greatly respected. Punyashilaha Mahakirti. He had a beloved gem of a son by name Rama. Remember, the name Rama is going to strike a bell immediately in Sita's mind. Rama was most loved by his people because of his dharmic tendencies and actions. In order to preserve the truthfulness of the words of his father, he proceeded to the forest along with his wife and brother. These all Hanuman singing from the treetop, telling the story of Rama. In the forest, he was duped by Ravana by a strategy through a fake deer, and Sita was abducted by Rama. Rama and Lakshmana went on searching for her, made friends with Monkey King Sugriva. After killing Sugriva's enemy, Vali, look at Hanuman. He is not telling any untruth. He he tells her the important facts of the story so that she may prick her ears and listen. He made friends with Monkey King Sugriva. And after killing Sugriva's enemy Vali, Sugriva was made king of the monkey kingdom. The king sent armies of monkeys in all directions to search for Sita. I have come here after crossing the ocean. And he stops. Sita heard all this and looked up to see the source of the voice, which seemed to be bringing news about her beloved Ram. Hanuman came down from the tree, keeping his hands raised above his head. Shirasyanjali Madaya. Hanuman's pose. These are Valmiki's 40. You read Valmiki, you would see the whole thing before your eyes and you will shed tears. Keeping his hands raised above his head in the Anjali pose, he approached her, asked her who she was, whether she was not the Sita who was abducted by Ravana from the forest in the absence of Rama and Lakshmana. And then the conversation starts. 7 chapters, about 450 shlokas, blow by blow, we are told, of the ensuing scene of Sita-Hanuman interaction. This is a magnificent treat to all readers of Valmiki. And Sita says, one of the most famous statements in Valmiki Ramayana, Kalyani Bhatagateyam Laukiki Pratibhati me Yeti Jivantamanando Naram Varsha Shatadapi. Joy rushes to a person. Kalyani Gatha Pratibhati Yeti Jivantamanandaha. Even after 100 years, Varsha Shatadapi. Joy rushes to a person even after 100 years. Kalyani Bhatagatheyam Laukiki Pratibhadame. This is the popular adage. People used to say this. You see, Kalyani Gatha, Laukiki Gatha, popular adage. It appears true and auspicious to me. These chapters, 7 chapters, have great religious value for millions of believers in the spiritual sanctity of the Valmiki Ramayana, who read these chapters as an offering to the Lord in the hope of a redress for their grievances. They're beautiful chapters. And Valmiki depicts the drama so full of pathos that we cannot but shed tears of joy, tears of pity. After announcing himself and seeing her so happy, look at Valmiki's, Brahma has, Creator Brahma has told Valmiki, whatever you are saying will not be an untruth. You report all the things. And here he says, Yatha yatha samipam sa Hanuman upasarpati tata tata ravanam sa tam sita parishankate. When Hanuman sees her so happy at his announcement, so he goes near her. Yatha yatha samipam sa Hanuman upasarpati. But as he goes near and near, a little nearer, tata tata ravanam sa, she thinks, Hare, I made a mistake. This must be Ravana in disguise. Because Ravana can take any form, I know. In Panchavati he fooled us. Tata tata ravanam sa tam sita parishankate. And of course, Hanuman consoles her and then continues the conversation. Kamban does not lag behind in Kambaramayanam. For him there are 194 line stanzas of scintillating poetry which take us to the Ashokavana itself to see the drama. There is no comparison possible between Valmiki and Kamban in this scene. Each is great in a unique way. Tulsi, of course, in view of the fact that his Sundarakanda itself is far shorter than the other Sundarakandas, he devotes only 30 stanzas to this scene, but includes shades of all the details in his own style of an avid devotee of Rama. His method of consoling, according to Tulsi, his method of consoling Sita, his method of consoling Sita is by appearing again and again, appealing again and again to the divinity of the Lord Rama and his superhuman might. Do not feel vexed at heart, mother, says he. Sri Rama loves you twice as much as you love him. Jani janani mani jiya una tumte prem prem ram ke duna. He loves you twice as you love him, he says. Incidentally, this particular statement that Ram loves twice as much as Sita loves him is not in Valmiki or Kamban. It is Tulsi's great devotion to Ram and Sita Devi. Kamban, of course, narrates 3 wonderful stanzas, 547, 548, 549 of his Sundarakanda. These stanzas depict Rama's 3 deep-felt messages to Sita. Rama has sent message through Hanuman to Sita. Kamban imagines that. Now Kamban tells you. Number 1, Rama is giving the message to Hanuman, to Sita through Hanuman. I told her, Rama told her, it is very difficult to go through the forest. After all, I am going to be in the forest only for a particular period of time. Till then, stay in Ayodhya itself, carrying on your usual services to the 3 mothers. This is what Rama says. As soon as he comes back from his father's Kaikeyi's room and to meet Sita, to take leave of her. But in reply to it, she just went, put on the hermit's robes, and with anger against me, visible in her face, but with a body as if life has left it, she came back and stood before me. Udutta thukilodum, uyirukka udalodum, edutta munivodum, udutta thukilodum, just, she has already put on the hermit's robes, uyirukka udalodum, as if with a body, as if life has left it. No reaction. Edutha Munivodum. She came back and stood before me. Go and tell her as a proof that you are my messenger. This is Rama's message to Sita, as according to Kamban. Go and tell her this as a proof that you have come from me. Again, another message. I told you he gives 3 wonderful stanzas. The other stanza, Rama saying, when we were taking leave of Minister Sumantra, Sumantra drove them from Ayodhya to the out of Ayodhya to the forest, up to the forest limit. So and then Sumantra was sent back. So when we were taking leave of Minister Sumantra, who drove us till the outer limits of the city, she told Sumantra, go back and tell people at home that I have been relieved from my grief by the good words of solace by Lord Sri Ram. Please tell Urmila, is Lakshmana's wife. Please tell Urmila and others to take care of the pets and parrots that I have been nurturing all along. She has been nurturing pets and parrots. Tell her. So Rama tells Hanuman, tell her that I vividly remember this childlike simplicity of Sita. So when they take leave of Sumantra, so she tells Sumantra, go home and tell the Urmila and others that ask them to take care of my pets and parrots that I have been nurturing all along. This childlike simplicity, go and tell her, I remember this. So Ram telling Sita, one more. By the king Dasharatha's orders, having been told of the prospect of the coronation, and then having been asked to go to the forest, they finally left for the forest. See with Sita. But Rama is saying, before we even reach the walls of our fort in Ayodhya, before we even reached the boundary of Ayodhya, Sita was asking, have we reached the forest? Vaayil agalamun yandayadikan. Kamban giving you the narration. Vaayil agalamun yandayadikan. Before they have crossed the gates of the Ayodhya city, she is asking, where is the forest? Have we come to the forest? Tell her I remember this. Tell her I remember this also. Of course, the famous Kakasura story, the story where the crow comes and disturbs them and he uses a Brahmastra to kill that, and finally the crow, Indra, who is the crow, he surrenders. So this Kakasura story recalled by Sita as a message back to Rama. Sita now gives the message to Rama through Hanuman. This is Kakasura story. This occurs in all the 3 Sundarakandas, all of them, Kamban, Tulsi and Ram and Valmiki. But Valmiki does not give it in Aranyakanda. It comes here as a surprise. And look, he crowns it by making Sita say at the end, go and ask Rama, go and ask him why he is not using that Brahmastra which he used against that crow, now against the Rakshasas. This is the realistic presentation of Pathas in Valmiki's 40. Kamban adds another informative story in Sita's message. His poetic imagination shoots. His poetic imagination shoots up in the sky. Sita says, as a message through Hanuman to Rama, I asked Rama, what shall I name this pet parrot of mine, pet parrot? In Panchavati, she nurtures a parrot, her pet. What shall I name this pet? And immediately he replied, Give the name of my faultless mother, the daughter of the Kekaya king. Tell him this. Go and tell him this. En or in uir men kilik yar payar igen. My pet parrot, whose name shall I give to her? Manna enralum மாசு அது கேக்கையன் மாது என் அன்னை தன் பெயராக என் அன்பினோடு அன்னாள். With great affection he says that my faultless mother, Queen Kaikeyi, give that name. சொன்ன மெய்மொழி சொல்லுதி மெய்மை தொடர்ந்தோய். This is Kamban's informative story. Well, it goes on. After a long conversation, I told you there are 7 chapters, almost in the last chapter, that is chapter number 36. You see, now Hanuman hands over that signet ring. In the Tulsi, he drops the ring. In Hanuman, in Kamban, he comes down and talks to her, and then in the course of the talk, he hands the ring. So here, Valmiki is describing how he hands over that signet ring to Sita. These are important lines in the Sundarakanda, therefore I am reading the Sanskrit for you. Bhuyayeva mahateja Hanuman pavanatmajaham abravit prashritam vakyam Sita pratyayakaranate. In order to instill confidence in her, he again talks. Vanaroham mahabhage duto ramasya dhimata. I am the messenger from Rama, I am the monkey. Ramanamankidam chedam pashyade vyanguliyakam. This signet ring, it has Rama's name engraved on it. Pratyayartham, for you to have confidence in me. Pratyayartham tavanitam tena dattam mahatmana. He gave it to me so that I may instill confidence in you. Samashvasihi badramte. Please get consoled. Shina dukkha palahyasi. Hereafter all your grief is gone. And he gave it to her. Grihitva prakshamanasa. She takes it and looks at it. Bhartukkara vibhushitam. This had been adorning my husband's, my lord's finger. Bhartaramiva samprapta Janaki mudita bhavate. She felt as if she had reached Rama himself. Bhartaramiva samprapta Janaki mudita bhavate. Charutad badanam tasyaha tamra shuklaya tekshanam babuva harsho dadram che rahu mukta ivodurod. Her happiness was great, and it was like the moon had been released by Rahu after the eclipse. Her face showed that happiness. These are the 5 shlokas where the Anguliya was given to Sita, and she became doubly happy because in that Anguliyakam, in that thing, she saw Rama himself. These 5 shlokas are of great importance for religious believers in Valmiki Ramayana. These are shlokas for legitimate purpose. If you want to fulfill your desires, legitimate desires, whatever, you repeat this as many times as you like. These 5 shlokas, I read it just now. These 5 shlokas, repeat this as many times as you like. As and when you like, sitting, walking, running, standing, sleeping, resting, dining, anything, at any time, for as long as you like, it will fulfill your legitimate desires. For your benefit, for the reader, for the listeners, I have put it on my website, krishnamurtis.com, Prof. VK. Go to my website and you can click 5 shlokas from Sundarakanda. You can click that on the home page. There are so many other things. Look for 5 shlokas from Sundarakanda. You have got this there with the English transliteration and then an English meaning, the whole meaning. From Bhuye, this is shlokas numbers 1 to 5 of chapter 36 of Valmiki's Sundarakanda. Right? So we can go on like this. We shall close. We shall close now with the interesting episode unique to Valmiki Ramayana. Hanuman has finally located Sita in the Ashoka garden, talked to her, reassured her, exchanged tokens with her. She gave the ring and he gave the ring, and he has taken leave of her. Then he decides to do sufficient havoc to that Ashoka, fruits and trees in the garden, so that he may attract attention from the Rakshasas. And then they will take him to King Ravana. All this happens. In Tulsi, of course, he takes permission from Sita to do this. In Valmiki, the Rakshasas go to Sita and ask her who this monkey is with whom she was talking. And she replies, she does not know him. This statement of Sita is a constant topic for debate. How can Sita tell a lie? How can the Devi? Was she right in denying knowledge about Hanuman? The actual words are Rakshasam Kamarupanam Vijnane Kagatir Mama. What means do I have for knowing about Rakshasas who take forms at will? Kamarupanam. They take all forms according to their own desire. How do I know? Yuyamevasya janita yoyam yadva karishyati. You should know. You alone ought to know who he is and what he is about. Ahireva hyahe padan vijanati nasamshayaha. Famous statement. Ahireva hyahe padan. Only the serpent alone knows, has true knowledge about the feet of the serpent. No doubt about it. Ahirevahi ahe padan. Ahi means serpent. Ahamapya atibhitasmi. I am also afraid of him. Naiva janami kohsyam vedmi rakshasamaevainam kamarupinam agatam. It is one of your own rakshasas have come in this form. This is what she says. We can go on like this, enjoying all the three Sundarakandas. But before we end this enjoyment, I want to point out about half a dozen or probably more small points. Briefly, they are unique master touches of each poet in the narration of the story. Each of these things happens in one or two of them, but does not happen in all three of them. Right in the beginning, as soon as Hanuman overpowers Lankini, that Rakshasi who was guarding the whole city, he debates about how to see Sita all alone, ekam, one on one, so that he can report to Rama what she thinks and says. This debate is not there in Tulsi or Kamban. It is in Valmiki. Another. Ravana arrives at the Ashoka Grove to see Sita. Valmiki simply says he was accompanied by several members of his harem. Kamban builds on this. Ravana's entourage consists of the celestial damsels Urvashi, Menaka, Tilottama. One of them carries his sandals, another his sword, another his betel leaves. This is Kamban. Willing suspension of disbelief. Willing suspension of disbelief. You must stop disbelieving willingly. Then only it is such an attitude is necessary to appreciate this extravaganza of Kamban. Another. When Ravana pleads with Sita to accept him, he says, your husband and brother-in-law are only coward men who got cheated by just a deer in golden hue. This kind of ridiculing speech is not there in Tulsi or Valmiki. It is in Kamban. Another. Ravana explains to Sita why he had to use the ruse of a deer and a consequent isolation of her to kidnap her. He says he could have killed Rama in fight and could have captured Sita. But in that case, Sita would take off her own life, and that would beat his purpose. This argument is in Kamban, but not in Valmiki or Tulsi. Another. When Ravana finally in anger at Sita's words lifts up his sword against Sita, one of the queens prevent him. Valmiki says it is Dhanyamalini, one of the women of Ravana's harem, who prevents it by weaning him away from the act. That is Valmiki. But Tulsi says it was the chief queen Mandodari herself who did so. Kamban simply says Ravana had one look at his sword and said to Sita, "The time to take your life has now come down from 12 months to 2 months. Decide what you want to do." And he left. Another. When Sita decides to take away her own life because of desperation, and Ravana is threatening to end her life in 2 months, Kamban adds to her logic an extra foresight, namely the argument that Rama may not accept her even if he wins over all the Rakshasas. "Hey Ram, will you accept me even after you win all over the Rakshasas?" This is in Kamban, but not in the other two. Another. In order to encourage Sita, Hanuman says to her, "Matta pratyavara kashyate nasti Sugriva sannidho." In the Sugriva's army, there is not a man who is lower in strength than me. Matta pratyavara kashyate nasti Sugriva sannidho, says Hanuman, because she suspects him, and he says, first of all, he offers to carry her, and then of course he assures her that they will all come here and defeat Ravana. So she suspects this is possible. This Ravana is a great fighter and conqueror. So he says, there is not a person, single person in our Sugriva's army who is lower than me in prowess. So don't fear. We shall overcome Ravana. This is in Valmiki, but not in Kamban or Tulsi. Another. Go and enjoy the Ashokavana fruits, says Sita in reply to Hanuman saying he is hungry and wants to eat the fruits. This is in Tulsi, but not in Valmiki or Kamban. Again, when Hanuman was bound by Brahmastra, he has the war with the Rakshasas, finally Indrajit binds him by Brahmastra. He was only apparently bound, says Shiva to Parvati in Tulsi's version. In Tulsi's version, Lord Shiva is talking to Parvati and narrating the story. So Shiva says he is only apparently bound. He was not really bound by Brahmastra. But that is not in Valmiki. In Valmiki it says, the binding became ineffective because he was further bound by mechanical ropes. These Rakshasas were so happy that Hanuman has been bound by an astra. So they have put more ropes and bound him. And once you do a mechanical binding, the spiritual binding, the mantra binding, that got loose. So this is Valmiki. Then again, Hanuman sees Ravana in Ravana's assembly, regal majesty, splendor, rightly amazed at the extravaganza, the pomp and splendor, transparent power of the king of Lanka. Hanuman sees all this. He frankly appreciates the regality and power of Ravana through the words, "Aho Rupam, Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattvam, Aho Juji." Oh, what a figure, what a majesty, what a splendor, he says. This is not there in Kamban or Tulsi. And again, when Hanuman was burning the entire Lanka by the flames in his tail, he thinks and regrets. He might have burned Sita also in this process and curses himself. Oh Lord, he says, this is not in this is in Valmiki, but not in Tulsi or Kamban. Then we go to the northern side of the ocean. Hanuman returns. The monkey army chiefs discuss. They confer. They debate whether they should go now and invade Lanka, or they should go north and tell Rama about Sita's presence in Lanka. So this debate is in Valmiki, but not in Tulsi or Kamban. Again, finally, when Hanuman returns, he tells the other members of the group on the shore, northern shore of the ocean, he tells the other members of his group about his successful meeting with Sita, but he does not tell them out of modesty how he fought the Rakshasas, how he set fire to Lanka. This is in Kamban, but not in Tulsi or Valmiki. When reporting to Rama after he goes there, Hanuman says the Rakshasas were put to sleep by his mantras. How did he happen to talk to Sita alone? So he says the Rakshasas were put to sleep by his mantras. This is in Kamban, not in Valmiki or Tulsi. And then again Kamban, he delicately handles the way Hanuman breaks the news of his successful mission to Rama in a deftly manner. Jambavan has gone and told Rama that Hanuman has come back successfully. But before Hanuman begins to talk, as soon as he reaches Rama's location, he turns in the southern direction and bows down with hands joined above his head, Shirasyanjali Madaya, to the southern direction. This itself indicates to Rama that Hanuman must have seen Sita. This is not in Valmiki or Tulsi. This is Kamban's forte. To know Kamban and live along with him in his imaginary excursions of fantasy, it is not possible by those who are only familiar with either Valmiki or Tulsi. Do you want to see before you the war between Hanuman on the one side and the Rakshasas on the other, in all its thrilling ups and downs? Do you want to see Lanka burning before your very eyes? Do you want to have a portrait of Rama for you to draw it minutely? Do you want to witness the gigantic Vishwarupa of Hanuman? Do you want to enjoy the literary heights of excellences of poetry, where the what is indifferent, and the how is what matters much? The what is not explained, the how is what matters much. This is Kamban. Read Kamban for all this. On the other hand, do you want to immerse yourself in the depths of devotion to God? Do you want to be mesmerized by the infinite splendor and compassion of Lord Sri Rama and Devi Sita? Read Tulsi. On the other hand, do you want Hanuman to speak to you in person about his thoughts and vacillations? Do you want to shed tears at the suffering the spotless Sita underwent? Do you want to experience the drama of your own monkeyish mind playing tricks with you? Do you want to keep reading an endless epic without getting tired, without being tired out? Do you want to participate in questions of dharma and adharma from great souls like Vibhishana and Hanuman? Go to Valmiki. Each complements the other two. Valmiki, Tulsi and Kamban are three priceless gems that can be that should be treasured from the ocean of Indian religious literature. Thank you for giving me this opportunity of going back to the Sundarakanda, talking about Tulsi, Kamban and Valmiki. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महीषो गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु.